In my background, I used to be a property underwriter. And from my experience, when you're writing these big global programs, you might have 1,000+ locations.
Yeah.
Typically, a risk management program would focus on maybe the top 10, 15 locations because they're the biggest, they've got the biggest values attached, blah, blah, blah. And we take it on face value that that's how it is on the data that we're given. And so by default, we set up a risk management program around those top locations with a risk improvement program, etc., which makes the risk better, hence the term risk managed, right? But we often, the ones in the middle or the ones in the bottom, locations in the bottom, we don't have time or resource to worry about them. But from my experience, they're often the ones that come and bite you on the backside in terms of the losses.
Yep.
It's either the location that no one knew there was such a great dependency. Completely. So you have this extrapolated business interruption loss.
Examples flying everywhere in my mind as you say this. But
or you just have a location that was actually just not on the radar, or actually the sums insured were wrong, but because the overall sums insured are just delivered at a global perspective with no average clause, then actually we've got to take it as it is.
Yep.
And the irony about all that is that there's a lot of effort spent around protecting the top assets and the biggest loss expectancies, which of course really are managing also your reinsurance treaty, and I don't need to tell you about that. But those smaller, medium to small losses will more likely be a net loss for you as an underwriting company, certainly if you're one of the big underwriting companies. So actually you're not taking care of some of those midpoint losses, for example, or smaller attritional losses that can really hurt your underwriting result. And I think if you think about the capability of AI and better geospatial capability that's available these days, actually you can have the machine on the side to run all those other 990 locations that you don't have time to assess, and neither does your risk engineer. So that gives you a complementary insight into the portfolio while you focus on the really big ones. So I think it's things like that. That's sort of a tangible example I could already see. And then when you think about the extrapolation of that, if you have a risk management program and or you're managing those other locations through an enhanced Gen AI program, as that risk improves, you can then start to feel the impact in real time on your portfolio. Now,